All right, welcome back, everybody. Gonna talk a bit about the baseball season that's about to get underway. Opening day is April 1st. And actually, I want you to see something about this season. So the season begins on 4/1, right? And April 1st is the 91st day of the year. Remember, 41's the 13th prime number, and 91's the 13th triangular number. And this year, you'll also have the 91st All Star game. And we know 4113, those are real big numbers in Los Angeles, California. This will be the year of the 117th World Series. And I should have had this up already, but here, let me just pull it up. It just makes me think of Kobe. It makes me think of Kobe, all these numbers 41, 13, 117. We know how last year's NBA season was synced up with Kobe. I imagine this year's NBA season will end up being synced up with Kobe as well. Kobe equals 75. It's the 75th NBA season. But hold on, where's the post I want? I want this one right here. When they retired Kobe's jersey, 8 and 24, it was 117 days after his birthday. His birthday was August 23rd. They did this December 18th. And when you use the reverse reduction with the rules of numerology, so like you can see that the E becomes the 22nd letter in reverse. In numerology, you don't have to reduce the 22. So Kobe's name, his full name, Kobe Bean Bryant, has that 117 connection. And remember, they retired his jersey against the Warriors. And Golden State Warriors is another 117. And of course, his dad was drafted by the Warriors, Joe Jellybean Bryant. But 117 days after Kobe's birth, they retired both of his jerseys. And with regards to the whole 117 thing in the Warriors, it reminds me of the year they lost to Toronto in the finals. Because remember, Steph Curry's dad played for Toronto, and he met his wife in Toronto. So is it possible? And don't forget, Kobe had his career high in points against Toronto. In his 666th career game, he scored his 81 points. And remember, not only is Kobe Bean Bryant 81, in that same cipher, it's 117 if you use the rules of numerology with the E's. But he scored those 81 points against Toronto, and if you write out Mark of the Beast, it's also 81. And again, it was his 666th game. But anyhow, I'm wondering if, again, we could get a Kobe tribute in sports in this season that's not long after his death. And keep in mind, again, Kobe Bean Bryant in the most pure cipher is 54. We know that's a big number with baseball, 54 outs in a game. Baseball's 54 in the most simple cipher, and when you run the alphabetic order in reverse, the rules of numerology. So is it possible that this season pays tribute to Kobe? And could we see LA and Toronto in the World Series? So, going to go over some things here that are definitely interesting. And the World Series does begin on the 26th of October. That's the day in history Al Bryant of the Temptations died. Kobe, of course, died on January 26th. What I noticed about Game 7, the day it's scheduled for, November 3rd, but that's the other thing, too. Game 7 is on November 3rd, right? And Kobe Bryant's 113. Game 7's November 3rd. Could see a lot of 7s this year in terms of series because, again, it's the year 21. Saturn equals 21 in the most pure cipher. Saturn has 7 rings, like Brady got his 7th championship and Nick Saban. But from Kobe's death to Game 7 on November 3rd is 647 days, which is the 118th prime. And should you see that happen, should you see the Dodgers in the World Series and it goes to Game 7, you can pencil the Dodgers in for the 118th World Series as well, which will be the next year. I got this feeling that the 118th World Series will be all LA, Dodgers and Angels. Because, again, LA is the 118 city. Los Angeles, California is 118. It's on the 118th Meridian West. Its birthday is September 4th, the day leaving 118 days left in the year. And the current mayor is Eric Garcetti, whose name's 118. So, if it did make it to Game 7, I got to think about who'd win this World Series. I'm not going to have that answer today, but in terms of what two teams, right now I'm leaning towards Dodgers-Toronto, and I'm going to show you all the reasons why. But if it did go to Game 7, I mean, just looking at the 118 connection, that would probably be an indicator for LA to do it again. They'd get their 8th World Series. Kobe's first jersey, number 8. Could make some sense. But anyway, if you do see the Dodgers in the World Series and it goes to Game 7, pencil them in for next year. And really, it could be that all-LA series in the 118th World Series, which, again, is not this year. This year is 117, but then the next year is 118. And we know how these things are often connected, and there's sometimes a ritual in the championship game that points directly to the next one. So these are things to think about. I also noticed that from the start of the NBA Finals, which I fully expect to be Lakers and Rockets, not Lakers and Rockets, I take that back, Lakers and Nets. You know why I said Rockets? I'm thinking James Harden. But if you missed our prediction before the season began for why it was going to be Lakers and Nets before Harden got traded to the Nets, again, go back and watch that. I feel really good about the Lakers-Nets thing. But from the start of the NBA Finals to Game 7 is also 118 days. So you get this big LA thing going. And by the way, just make sure you guys didn't miss this. Harden got traded to the Nets on the 13th of January, right? 113. The National Basketball Association 113. But on the 13th day of the year, number 13 gets traded to the Nets, the team that equals 13. And did you see how they just gave the Rockets their 13th straight loss while staying on 13 losses? Now, notice what the Rockets scored. They scored 114, right? And that's the LeBron James number. And again, the whole league's structured around LeBron. So you have James Harden, King James. So 114 points. The real King James, not LeBron, but the real King James was made a king at 13 months of age. That's why LeBron James won the NBA Finals in his 13th season on the real King James's birthday, June 19th, where 619's the 114th prime. And this game was played on March 3rd, 3-3, and James is 33, and LeBron's 33, and NBA Finals is 33. And the Nets won by 18. Finals is 61, the 18th prime. This is LeBron's 18th season. The Lakers can win their 18th championship. And this game was also played 127 days before the start of the finals. Again, that's the 31st prime number. The ritual was in Houston, 31, the reflection of 13. And don't forget, you just had all these superstars leave Houston at age 31. James Harden left the Rockets to the Nets at age 31. George Springer left the Houston Astros for the Toronto Blue Jays at age 31, and J.J. Watt just left for the Arizona Cardinals at age 31 on 3/1 with a $31 million deal. And remember, he was part of the Houston blackout ritual, which we saw a month and a half coming on Valentine's Day, because they rigged the games the same way they rigged the weather. Sadly, the world's that crazy that we live in. But J.J. Watt, and then remember, it was all synced up with the Public Enemy album, which showed Arizona on the cover. So, hey, for those of you guys who want to do your homework on things to invest in, you might want to research, and I need to do, I've been telling myself this since I saw this happen, I need to do the same thing. What we need to research is who is the company that's going to come up with the great innovation for how to store solar energy. Because right now, that's the biggest problem with solar energy, is it can only be stored for so long. It has this limited capacity. Because, again, how are you going to power big cities throughout the night when you can only store so much? It's like solar's more efficient when just like straight from the thing right out to the power source that needs to be powered. But in the nighttime, obviously, the sun's down. So anyway, they need big innovation in the storing of the solar energy. And I know there's companies working on this right now. But if you can figure out what that company is, who knows? There might even be a company out there called like Phoenix Solar Systems or something. I'm just making it up. But there could be something like that out there. Again, he's going to Arizona, which is like the sunshine place. He's leaving Houston, which is the energy capital of the world right now for oil and petroleum. And, you know, we're in this age of Agenda 21 where we need to go to renewable energy. I bet you there's some company out there right now that's like the chosen company that's going to have this technology breakthrough. And you're going to want to invest in that company before, you know, they're in the headlines that their stock's surging through the roof. But I'm telling you, that this riddles, it's something like that. And there'll probably be an announcement within this year. Again, this is the Agenda 21 year. It could be further down the road. Again, it's Agenda 21 through Agenda 2030, but it's coming. So J.J. Watt's energy going from Houston, you know, dirty fossil fuels, to Phoenix, the land of sunshine and the future of solar energy. And Bill Gates right now. Bill Gates is saying that in the near future, he sees that 80% of our nation's energy can be fulfilled by solar. So, I mean, they're throwing the clues out there. Maybe look into what companies Bill Gates is invested in that are developing these things. But again, there's more ways to make money with this knowledge than just off the rig sports. The stock market's rigged. These cryptocurrencies are rigged, just like we've demonstrated with Bitcoin and with Moderna. I don't spend a lot of time on these things, but I'm sure there's been countless more examples if you're focused on it. Again, the world is controlled by this code. Absolutely. Okay, so anyway, I'm just seeing how all these things could possibly line up here. The baseball, the NBA, and I'm about to show you the hockey too. If Toronto is going to get it done in the NHL this year, it could be a big year for Toronto. Also, pay attention to when Drake's album comes out. We know how they synced up the NBA Finals that Toronto won with Drake's Scorpion album. Right now, he has an album that's supposed to come out, but it keeps getting pushed back. Watch to see if that album releases on April 27th, just in case, because that's the 117th day of the year. Like, if you see the Drake album come out on April 27th, then you'll definitely know something's up. So, okay. Again, Game 7 of the World Series is 118 days after the NBA Finals start. Very possible LA's in both. Remember, the Super Bowl will be in LA this year as well. The coming one, Super Bowl 56. I don't expect a LA team to be in it. But, and it's the Chargers too, right? Which also has to do with electricity. All this stuff with energy, electricity. Okay, but here's our teams that I spot that have the 117 connection. And I encourage you to do your own homework. There could be a star player out there with a 117 connection I'm overlooking. Could be a city connection I'm overlooking right now. There could be something with the 117 I don't see, but here's the 117s that I spot. Toronto's a very strong 117 city. The state of Illinois has a 117 connection, and the White Sox are actually one of the more favored teams to be in the World Series. White Sox, if not Toronto in the AL, I'm thinking the White Sox got a chance. Angels Stadium of Anaheim, where the Angels play, is also 117. Yeah, so I guess in a way, the Angels are a long shot this year. I guess I could see the all Los Angeles World Series being more next year, the 118th World Series, but I guess you could make an argument for this year. It's a possibility, but right now I'm thinking it's going to be Toronto and LA. Again, the Dodgers got the 117 connection. Remember, when you write out 13 as a word, it equals 117. LA's 13. The season begins on 4/1, like 41, the 13th prime, which is the 91st day of the year, which is the 13th triangular number. And again, it's the 91st World Series, or not World Series, 91st All-Star Game, which will be played in Truist Park, which is the Brave Stadium. Truist Park is also 117. Another team in the NL with the 117 connection is the Arizona Diamondbacks. I don't see them getting past the Dodgers. And the Braves, if it's not the Dodgers in the NL, my backup team would be the Braves. So remember, early in the year before the season begins, I mean, you can put some chips on your favorite outcome, but you could stack some chips on some secondary outcomes just in case as your insurance picks. Because again, if your parlays come through, if you cover a few spaces on the roulette wheel, if that's the way you look at this, you're going to come out ahead as long as it lands on those things. And you got plenty of time to think about it. Or you can do what other people do and just play it super safe. You have your favorite and you just wait till you see that riddle that really locks you in when you feel comfortable. When you feel comfortable to bet, but it's all up to you. And again, because Illinois has the 117 connection, in the NL you got the Cubs, Chicago White Sox. But right now, again, I really like the Toronto Dodgers thing through Kobe with his career high and the fact that Toronto... Oh, I haven't even gotten to the Stanley Cup thing yet, but I'll show you in a moment. But if Toronto's going to win the Stanley Cup, if you do see Toronto win the Stanley Cup, I think that's a real good sign for the Dodgers, or not the Dodgers, but the Blue Jays to be in the World Series, and I'll get to why in just a moment. As Ben pointed out a few weeks ago, the Field of Dreams game will be played this year. They're playing a game with the Field of Dreams, and it's going to be the Yankees and the White Sox on August 12th. So it is interesting that the White Sox are in this game. Field of Dreams is 117, so you see that this is the perfect ritual for the year of the 117th World Series, and realize that's in the most simple cipher, and that seems to be normally where it's at with baseball. Just like Toronto's the 117 team. And you see how Toronto's 72 when you run it in reverse? From the day that George Springer signed with the Toronto Blue Jays, again, George Springer, one of the biggest stars in baseball, going from Houston to Toronto. Houston, the city that just had the big ritual. But he signed 72 days before the start of the season, did George Springer, on January 19th. And keep in mind, January 19th can be written 19/1, like 191, the 43rd prime, and Ontario's got that 43 connection. See that number show up a lot with Toronto sports. But anyhow, you got this Field of Dreams game, and the movie released on April 21st, which is the 111th day of the year. New York's 111. They're playing the White Sox, so we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But I was just trying to put all this together, think more about it. And Tom Hanks is the big star in that movie. I noticed that from his birthday, July 9th, to the start of the World Series is 109 days. Los Angeles is 109. His birthday can also be written 9/7, and Ontario does have that 97 connection. If you saw the other week, Jonathan and I were doing the live stream, and he brought up the death of the rapper Guru. And then when he pointed out his death, I said, wait a minute, wasn't that the year the Celtics were in the NBA Finals? And it was the Celtics-Lakers year, and his death was all synced up with that Lakers-Celtics Finals, and it had everything to do with 109. So, anyhow, it's interesting how Tom Hanks, the big star of the movie, and how from his birthday to the start of the World Series is 109 days. Big Los Angeles number. And from George Springer's birthday to the start of the World Series will be 37 days. Another big Los Angeles number. And he's already faced LA in a World Series once. He beat him. He beat him in the 113th World Series. That was the year that Houston flooded with Harvey and LA burned with La Tuna. And this year, Game 7's on November 3rd, 113. So that's interesting. And again, you have these stars leaving Houston, right? Like, I'm pretty sure Harden will end up in the finals after leaving Houston. George Springer, he has a good shot here to leave Houston and end up in the World Series. J.J. Watt going to the Cardinals, like I talked about, right now I like the Dallas-Kansas City matchup, especially if Russell Wilson goes to Dallas. It's a done deal. But like I talked about, I said if it's not Dallas, another team to think about is Arizona, because Bill Bidwell died on October 2nd, 10/2. This is the 102nd season. They did that huge ritual last year with the Black Cardinal, and they took Tom Brady off of Sunday Night Football and moved the Cardinals in their all-black uniforms, and Kyler Murray beat Russell Wilson. So the Cardinals are a team to think about for the Super Bowl next year in the NFC. I'm pretty sure the Chiefs being there is a done deal. If you missed it, the former Chief just died on the 56th day of the year. The Chargers host the Super Bowl next year. The only team they have 56 wins against in regular season play is the Chiefs. The Chiefs were the first team to play in that new stadium against the Chargers, and the Cowboys were the first team in the NFC to play in that stadium against the Rams. But if it ended up being the Cardinals instead of the Cowboys, it's possible that we could see all these players leave Houston and end up in championship games this year. And again, I'm pretty sure Harden's going to lose to LeBron in the finals. The World Series probably looks a little bit better for the Dodgers than the Astros, but or not the Astros, the Blue Jays. But again, I got to think more about the winner of the World Series. But yeah, there's some riddles here through what's happening through all the sports, looking at the big connected web. And keep an eye, by the way, on April 27th, what happens in the games on April 27th in the MLB, because that's the 117th day of the year. And again, I scanned through these. Whoops, that's not what I want. Why did that come up? This is what I want. Okay. April 27th, I was just looking through the games. It's the Indians last year as the Indians. They're changing their name and mascot. Remember, this season's going to last 216 days, like Cleveland's the 216 area code. So I was just scanning through the games, And Toronto plays the Nationals, who won the 115th World Series. Might be something more to think about that. Cubs play the Braves. So both of these teams have a 117 connection. It's interesting that they face each other on the 117th day of the year. Definitely pay attention to this game. And Angels aren't playing in their ballpark. It's their ballpark that has the 117 connection. White Sox host the Tigers. Again, Illinois got the 117 connection. Diamondbacks got the 117 connection. They're playing the rebuilt Padres. And the Dodgers host the Reds. Ohio equals 117 in Jewish gematria. There's actually a lot of 117 rituals that go down with Ohio. But again, the Dodgers have that 117 connection. That's the last game of the day. So anyway, pay attention to the scores. I mean, you see somebody win like 11-7 that day. Like the Dodgers beat the Reds 11-7. I mean, you already know, you know the drill. I mean, you see something like that, that's where your confidence can just go sky high. So same thing. Like imagine the Blue Jays beat the Nationals 11-7. And what's funny is those scores aren't even uncommon in baseball anymore. Baseball's just gotten so ridiculous in the new Manfred era. But I mean, you see two teams with 117 connections win games 11-7 on this day, especially if it's AL and NL. You know you're in the driver's seat. So remember that, because April 27th is the 117th day of the year. And come back to where I was. I got to get to this hockey connection. Okay. Oh. Roy Halladay, who was a big star for Toronto. Remember, he died on November 7th in the plane crash off the coast of Holiday, Florida. And this year, Toronto's playing in Florida because of the whole coronavirus thing. So he died on 11/7, the day leaving 54 days left in the year, baseball 54. And then Toronto this year could win their first Stanley Cup in 54 years. And the last time Canada won the Stanley Cup was 93. The Toronto Blue Jays won the World Series that year. So that's the other big thing is, okay, the last year that Canada won the Stanley Cup, remember, Stanley has the gematria of 93. Stanley is 93. And they haven't won it for 54 years, Toronto. They haven't won the Stanley Cup for 54 years. But Canada last won it in 93. When you write out sun, it's 54, right? And they tell us the sun is 93 million miles away. So Toronto could win this year. It'd be their first Stanley Cup win in 54 years. And it would be Canada's first win since 93, which was the year the Toronto Blue Jays won the World Series. And they defeated the Philadelphia Phillies in 93. They defeated the Braves in 92. There's something to think about with that, because again, you know, if it's not going to be the Dodgers in the NL this year, the Braves are the only other team I could really see doing it, because that Truist Park is 117. I feel like they're the only teams built for the World Series in the NL. And it's just like last year. We thought Dodgers would beat the Braves in the NL and then go to the World Series, and that is what happened. I wouldn't be surprised if we had a repeat of the same NL championship this year. I would not be surprised at all if it was the same two teams, Dodgers and Braves again. But let me just think about that for a second more. 92 to 2021 is 29 years. 93 to 2021 is 28 years. Okay. But yeah, just that whole Kobe thing brings LA and Toronto together. So, and here's the other thing. Okay. If the Stanley Cup went to Game 7, it's scheduled, the last possible day of the Stanley Cup is July 15th, right? And speaking of Kobe Bryant, remember Kobe Bean Bryant, 157? Or not Kobe, no, I take it back. It's just Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant, 157. He died on his 157th day of his age. Then they had the All-Star game, and they set, the winning score at 157. But the last day of the Stanley Cup is on 15/7. And from that day, and remember, this is the 104th NHL season right now, but it's the 103rd Stanley Cup because they had a lockout season, so they didn't finish the season. So it's the 103rd Stanley Cup. So from Game 7 of the Stanley Cup, if it went there, to the start of the World Series, October 26th, is 103 days later. So just imagine that. Imagine Toronto wins it in Game 7. If you see that, if you see that happen, to me, that's like, okay, Toronto's going to the World Series. And if you want to wait to see if it plays out that way, I mean, you could still get great odds, I imagine, on Toronto to be in the World Series at that point in the season. You know, that's a few months away. Well, I guess it's about 4 months away right now. But again, it would be so perfect. The 103rd Stanley Cup, 103 days before the start of the World Series. 103 is the 27th prime number. MLB's 27. Ritual's 27. We know how they connect sports. They just did a whole bunch of 103 stuff last year with the Lightning, the Rays, and the Super Bowl. So could do it again this year, but it might be Toronto instead. And yeah, so very possible, very possible. And there it is right there, just the distance in days, 103 days. It's also a span of 104 days since it's the 104th season, 103rd Stanley Cup. Now, going through the managers of the teams that I see with the 117 connections, Charlie Montoyo, his birthday is 10/17, so 1017, a lot like 117, and his surname Montoyo is 117 in the most simple cipher like Toronto. So I also like this about the Blue Jays. He's going to turn 56 years old 9 days before the start of the World Series. Again, we know how magical 56 has been, especially with this NHL season being 56 games. And then remember, baseball's a game of nines. Baseball's all about the nines. Don't ever forget your baseball, Gematria, you know. 54 outs in a game, 18 half innings, 162 games in a regular season. And all those numbers break down to 9 in numerology. 9 is completion in numerology, like 9 innings in a complete game. And Joe Madden for the Angels, I didn't see a 117 connection with him. Tony La Russa, didn't see a 117 connection with him. Joe Madden's with the Angels. Tony La Russa's with the White Sox now. I put Aaron Boone on here just because he's playing in that Field of Dreams game with the 117 connection. What is interesting about Aaron Boone is the World Series begins exactly 33 weeks after his birthday, or 231 days. And I forgot to write something there, but New York is 33. 231 is the 21st triangular number, like it's the 21 season. Yankees, again, I don't think we're going to see the Yankees win any more World Series. If they were there, I'd have them to lose. But the one reason to consider them this year is, well, they have a stacked team, but they are also in that 117 Field of Dreams game. In the NL, Dave Roberts, he doesn't really have any 117 connection, but again, the Dodgers do, so it's not such a big deal. What's nice about Toronto, though, is just how the manager also has the 117 connection. And the D-backs coach, he doesn't have a 117 connection. Brian Snitker, the Braves manager, actually has the exact same birthday as Montoyo, except for he's 10 years older. But they're both born October 17th, but Snitker's 10 years older. And David Ross, the Cubs manager, doesn't have a 117 connection either. I've looked most heavily at Toronto because I'm really feeling this Toronto thing with George Springer going there. He's kind of like the golden boy in baseball. But I did notice that the World Series begins 151 days after the Toronto mayor's birthday. That's interesting because that's the 36th prime number. And again, those numbers are peas in a pod, 151 and 36. Toronto's 36 forwards and backwards. And the World Series also begins on the 306th day of Justin Trudeau's age, the Prime Minister of Canada, 306, a lot like 36. He'll be 49 years old. Blue Jays is 49. So, really, though, the big thing is how the Blue Jays won the World Series in 93, the last year that Toronto won the Stanley Cup. If we don't see Toronto win the Stanley Cup, it doesn't mean that Toronto Blue Jays are out. They'd still have a good narrative. But, man, I'm telling you, if Toronto wins the Stanley Cup, I'm pretty sure Toronto is the team in the MLB as well. So, not necessarily to win it, but to be there in the World Series. And I got up part of the odds here. I mean, you can look at the rest of them at Vegas Insider. But the Angels are the longest shot team. They're 40-1. Again, Dodgers are right up here at 4-1. So, I mean, them being in the World Series, very likely. The Yankees got high odds, too. They do have a shot because they're in that game. And, I mean, that would be big ratings if it was Dodgers-Yankees. Padres are stacked. I don't think the Padres are going to be there, even though they stacked up the team. Braves, 10-1, not bad odds. Definitely, if it's not the Dodgers, to me, it's definitely the Braves. I'm just skipping right over the Padres. I don't see it being them. That doesn't mean I'm going to be right. I mean, you can do your homework on the Padres, make sure they don't have some big star with a big 117 connection, but I really feel it'd be the Dodgers or the Braves because of the ballpark and the team name. White Sox are interesting. Again, the White Sox are in that Field of Dreams game. If not Toronto, White Sox definitely got a shot. I don't think they're going to do the Rays again this year. I think if Tom Brady's going to be in another Super Bowl, which is possible, I don't think it's going to be this season. I think it would be when he turns 45 years old, which would be the 57th Super Bowl, that magical championship number. And again, that's because Brady would be 45 that year, and this Super Bowl that he just won was it had a lot to do with 45. It was his 45th playoff game. Again, 45 is the 9th triangular number. He got his 34th playoff win, which is the 9th Fibonacci number, and he got his 23rd home win in the playoffs, which is the 9th prime number. So I think if Brady's going to go to one more Super Bowl, I don't think it'll be next year, but maybe the year after that. I'm pretty sure next year we'll see 2 black quarterbacks. We've talked about that. If you missed the past future discussions we did for the Super Bowl, go back and watch that. College basketball, go back and watch that. All the videos are there. Blue Jays are down here with 25-1 odds. And, that's pretty good odds, 25-1. So you got to parlay with, Dodgers and Blue Jays, and maybe insurance, Blue Jays, Braves. You'd actually want the Blue Jays, Braves one to come through because it'd be better odds, but either of those would make you a real happy camper. And realize you don't have to bet much money on them to get a decent payout. I mean, you could put a small bet down today, and as the riddles come through, as the season goes on, as more clues come in, if you feel it more, you can invest more on it. Or if it starts to look like it's another thing, like if on April 27th we get 2 of these other teams we're looking at that win 11-7. Again, if you see teams win 11-7 on the 117th day of the year, don't doubt that. Do not. What did I just say? If you see teams win 11-7 on April 27th, which is the 117th day of the year, don't doubt that. That's what I'm trying to say. They got the Reds up here with pretty decent odds. I just remember they played the Dodgers on that day, the last game of the 117th day of the year. And Indians in their last season, feel-good season. I could see them doing well in their division. I don't think they're going to be in the World Series, though. And then the Angels, I mean, a small bet on the Angels just because if the Angels are in the World Series, it's all LA. I'll tell you that much. If the Angels are in the World Series, it's Angels and Dodgers. But I have a feeling they're going to do this next year, like I said, for the 118th World Series. But again, the Angels ball field does equal 117, so it's possible. You put $10 down on a Dodgers-Angels World Series right now, that $10 would go a long ways. So, if it happened. But yeah, if I had to pick one matchup right now, I'm going with Toronto and LA because of what I know about these teams with the 117, because I know what I know about Kobe Bryant with the 117 and how he even factors into the Toronto, and how things aren't looking too bad for the Maple Leafs in the Stanley Cup and how they could sync this up. Big year for Toronto. And here, let me see if there is any new information on this Drake album. Drake album release date. I know they keep pushing it back, but I am going to laugh. Certified Lover Boy. What an album name. It'll be his 6th studio album. Remember, they call Toronto the 6. Toronto equals 36, which has a square root of 6. They won it in Game 6 over the Warriors that year. And remember, Golden State Warriors 117, Toronto 117, Kobe Bryant, Retires his jersey 117 days after his birthday, playing Golden State, his dad's old team. Had his career high against Toronto. Hold on. Certified lover boy. What's that equal? 266, like Jesus Somnum Salvator. 95, big Jesuit number. 94's got the connection with the World Series. They do a lot of rituals with 94 and 147. See how when you write out 94, it's 147.57? World Series in those same ciphers, 147.57. So... And again, just things like the Roy Halladay thing. So... I thought I wrote something down here. Hold on. I want to see some real quick. Roy Halladay's death, November 7th, 2017 to the start of the World Series, October 26, 2021. It's 207 weeks later. You see that? 207. Kind of like MLB 27, Ritual 27. So that's interesting as well. Okay, and I know a lot of you guys are burning up about UFC tonight. Again, it's UFC 259. To me, there's a good chance the black fighters do very well because that's a big number with Black Lives Matter at the 259. And the big star of tonight's fight is that Israel Adesanya, if that's how you say his name, and he's getting the hype for holding up the pizza box. And what's interesting is right now he's 20-0 as a fighter. He could get his 21st win today in 21 after holding up a pizza box. So, and I did notice that his birthday is July 22nd, 227, and today is 227 days after his birthday. Hold on, who's he fighting again? I don't follow UFC really. But, what's the other guy's name? Here, UFC 259 fight card. I'm not sure you say his name. Is it Blachowicz? Blachowicz? I don't know how you pronounce it. How do I close this thing so I can get on with it? What's this about? I guess I gotta accept cookies. Alright, let's see. See if I can get this guy's stats right here. But remember, when you decode the fights, what you really want to see is, can somebody pick up the win-or-loss that corresponds with the opposing fighter's name? Now, see, I do see something that's concerning here. I do see that this guy could get his 28th win, and he's fighting Israel. And Israel does have that Gematria 28. And then I suppose the one thing about that Israel Adesanya is if he did lose, he would be 20-1, like 201, which is another big Jesuit number. But yeah, holding up that pizza box. But yeah, that does worry me a little bit that he can get his 28th win right there. So again, you don't have to bet on the top fight. Just go through the fight card, and some you'll see will just have a clean. And normally, the cipher you want it to line up with is this one right here, the most pure cipher, the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. So the fact that he can get his 28th win does make me a little bit concerned, but that whole Black Lives Matter theme, yeah, I don't know. I might just skip that fight and look for cleaner riddles. So... again, that's the thing you want to do with this knowledge. Just look for the riddles that are the strongest. The ones that are iffy, I mean, those are the games just to stay away from and the fights to stay away from. So, but yeah, I'd go through it and look at the fights where you have a black guy on there. I'm sure there's some black guys that are definitely going to win tonight. UFC 259, Black Lives Matter 259. And, but yeah, that whole thing with the potential 28th win, that bothers me. So, what's this guy's birthday? February 24th. So, it's 10 days after his birthday or his 11th day of his age. He's old, 38. Old man. How old is this guy? He's not that old. $31. Yeah. But yeah, just go through the fight cards, run the name Gematria, look for the birthdays, you're looking for the riddles. And some riddles will just be super clear. Like in the past when we've decoded UFC fights, where we've seen some where it's just like, the guy can pick up his 21st win and he's fighting a fighter whose name equals 21 and it's exactly 21 weeks after his birthday. I mean, when you find those fights, that's where you're like, okay, that's my fight tonight right there. That's the one that's golden. So yeah. And again, if you watched the hockey stream yesterday, just like things like, okay, LA could lose tonight in 2 games between Wayne Gretzky's old teams and they could fall to 9-9, so the Blues look good, and sure enough, the Blues won. I mean, those are the kind of things you're looking for. And I realized that they made that game dramatic. The Blues were losing with like a minute left in the game, and they ended up winning it. So let's take some calls right now, because I think we got through pretty much everything I wanted to say. But yeah, I mean, if you see a fight where you got 2 narratives on both sides, you don't have to bet on that fight. I mean, there's a UFC fight. There's UFC fights almost every weekend. There's plenty of sports games each day to go through and comb through. And again, I gave you guys all the cheat sheets, so you should be able to do the work. Practice makes perfect. All right, the phone line's open. If you guys want to call in, it's that number on the screen, 509-560-4982, and first call's going out to Canada. What's up, Toronto?
Zach?
Yeah, what's going on?
Hello. If you recognize the voice, I called last week about Toronto winning 2 years from now. But if you go to the Stanley Cup Wikipedia page, it says Stanley Cup started in 1893. But before 1914, it was known as the Challenge Cup, or the Stanley Cup Challenge, and there was no format to acquiring it. So since the 1915 season, there have been 103 winners. So this will be also because the Spanish flu in 1919 and lockout in 2005, lockout equals 25. But yeah, this will be the 104th Stanley Cup, right?
104th season, 103rd Stanley Cup, right?
No, 100. If you look up on the Stanley Cup Wikipedia page, you go. So it says since the 2014-15 season, the cup has been won a combined 103 times. You have to scroll down a bit. It's so there's like first paragraph, second, third. It's on the 4th paragraph, right before the contents.
Well, it does say that here. I'd want to go through and count it, though. Wikipedia is wrong a lot. I remember last year was the 103rd season and the 102nd Stanley Cup, and then Bill Bidwell died on 10/2 right before the season began, so...
Yeah, there could be, difference between the sources. But if it is the 103rd Stanley Cup, the Leafs head coach, last name, Keefe, Keefe and Leafs, Keefe equals 103 in Gematria. Also... It was really hard to find, but any team could play any team in the Stanley Cup, because after the first, the divisional rounds, where you play the same teams you've been playing against all season in the, first 2 rounds of the playoffs, they do it based on, they put the best remaining regular season record against the worst remaining regular season record, and then the winners of the 2 semifinals games will play in the Stanley Cup.
Okay.
Also, yeah, Ralph Backstrom wore numbers 14, 9, 8, 20, and 6. And I noticed that the Capitals have a player, Nick Backstrom. He wears number 19. Nick equals 19. It's his 14th season, like Backstrom wore number 14. And the Leafs are trying to get their 14th Stanley Cup. Brendan Shanahan wore numbers 14, 19, and 11, among others. Brendan Shanahan is now the president of the Toronto Maple Leafs, like the president of the U.S. is in Washington, right? In the NHL, there's an award for the best regular season record, President's Trophy. President's Trophy equals 201. And the Leafs have never won this award since it came out in 1986. And Washington has won the President's Trophy 3 times. The Capitals have been to the Stanley Cup Finals twice before, so it would be their 3rd Stanley Cup appearance. Also, before Brendan Shanahan was the president of the Leafs, he was in charge of handing out suspensions in the NHL, and it made the phrase Shanaban, which equals 24 and 156 in Gematria. And on his January 23rd birthday in 2015, he suspended Alex Ovechkin for 3 games, and that was his 45th birthday. Capitals equals 54. Suspension equals 56 and 43. They specifically mentioned that Ovechkin had to forfeit $154 and some $1,000. Forfeit equals 110. President equals 110. The president of the U.S., the last time the Leafs won the Stanley Cup was Lyndon B. Johnson. He was the 36th president. 36 is the 8th triangular number, like OV equals 8. Ovechkin wears number 8. LBJ equals 24. And the suspension was on January 23rd. 1 plus 23 gives you 24. Number 24 on the Leafs is an African-American player from Toronto. His name is Wayne Simmons, like Wayne Gretzky. Wayne Simmons equals 110. Wayne Gretzky's nickname was the Great One. Great equals 24, like how Trump wanted to make America great again. And that phrase came from Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan equals 110 and 56. Ovechkin has the nickname the Great 8, too. Also, I noticed number 24 on the Capitals becomes the 24th player to ever wear that number in Capitals history. His name is Connor McMichael, like Connor McDavid. Like, they're both from Toronto, like around Toronto. This year's the Capitals' 24th season in Capital One Arena. Capital equals 127. The 31st prime ring equals 24, ring equals 24. Rings equals 31.
Okay, so it sounds like you really like a Maple Leafs and Capitals.
Yeah,
Stanley Cup.
I looked into it because I heard on yesterday's live stream that someone called in and said, look out for Washington. I did a lot of looking into this. Also, I got, what else? It's long, right? But this year, Ovechkin got suspended, right? Because he didn't follow COVID protocol. COVID protocol equals 67, which is the year the Leafs last won it. Canada became independent in 1867. The Ottawa 67s are named after that. The Leafs used to be known as the St. Pats. St. Pats equals 67, 14, and 95. Like the Leafs are trying to get Stanley Cup number 14, and hockey equals 95. Also, all these threes the Capitals have with the President's Trophy, Stanley Cup appearance potentially, and Capital starts with C, the 3rd letter. So the 3rd Fibonacci sequence number is 2. The 3rd prime number is 5, and the 3rd triangular number is 6. So if Toronto were to win in 7 games, we might see the Capitals winning 2, 5, and 6. And also Capital One Arena equals 90, and Toronto Maple Leafs equals 90, Maple Leafs equals 90. The Stanley Cup is named after Frederick Stanley, and the Leafs have the last player to wear 54 on the Leafs was named Frederick. Frederick Stanley equals 95, St. Pat's equals 95, like hockey equals 95. He died June 14th, and the first ever professional hockey game was March 3rd, 1875. So it's the 146th year of professional hockey, just like his birthday, June 14th. Also, Fred equals 33 and 75, like March 3rd, 1875. And I found this article. It says some claim that, there's a place in Nova Scotia that claims to be the birthplace of ice hockey. I guess they didn't play the first professional game, but they started playing it on ice. The name of the place was Windsor, like the place in Colorado that Ralph Backstrom died. You read out Windsor, NS, like Windsor, Nova Scotia, equals 54. Also, it comes from hockey used to be, before they started skating, it was just stick and ball games. So stick and ball games equals 54. Wayne Gretzky equals 54. Wayne Gretzky played center. Center equals 34. Also saw center equals 29 and 97. Funny enough, the best three players are centers in the NHL. Matthews, 34, McDavid, 97, and McKinnon, 29. And they've developed the nickname the 3 M's. 3 M's equals 34. M is the 13th letter, so in full reduction, M is 4. So like 3, 4, 3M, 3, 4. And Walter and Wayne Gretzky both start with WA, right? Like Washington State's abbreviation, which equals 24 in Gematria. So it would make sense to have the Capitals in the Stanley Cup the year that Walter Gretzky dies, and the season right before the first team from Washington State joins the NHL, Seattle.
Yeah, the Kraken. Okay. Yeah. Oh, you got more.
I also saw Walter. Yeah, I do. Walter Gretzky worked for Bell for 34 years. Bell equals 31. It's a cable company. Cable equals 31. And all the stats like lined up with 31 and 34, but I'll skip that, I guess. Goal equals 31. The Leafs goalie, Frederik Andersen, wears number 31. He's 31 years old. He's from Denmark. His nickname is the Great Dane. If you include it equals 54. On his helmet, on his mask, he has Lego Batman. Lego Batman equals 54. Frederik Andersen equals 156. Wayne Gretzky's quote, "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take," equals 156. Also, like Shanaban equals 156. Also, I saw the Maple Leafs Square North Tower right beside Scotiabank Arena, where the Leafs play, has 54 floors on it on York Street. York ST equals 54. And this one's kind of long. Think I've done too much already?
Well, you've given us a lot of information, but I mean, essentially, the main thing I took away is all the 54 is why you like them playing the Capitals, because Capitals is 54, and they haven't won the Stanley Cup for 54 years. So,
yeah. Let me tell you about like how it connects to the Lightning winning last year.
Okay.
Tampa Bay Lightning equals 91. Stamkos equals 91. He's their captain. Stamkos wears number 91. He turned 31 on the day of Super Bowl 55, like Tampa Bay won Super Bowl 55. And him and the Maple Leafs captain were childhood friends. They grew up together in Toronto. It's John Tavares. John Tavares was born 9 days after September 11th, on September 20th, and 11 years before, in 1990. He, like Stamkos, wears number 91, so they both wear number 91. For back-to-back picks in 2008 and 2009, if you add up 2-8 plus 2-9 equals 21, and it would be 12 years since both of them were drafted back-to-back to winning back-to-back Stanley Cups.
Okay.
Jets equals 54, like 9/11. And he was drafted by New York Stars. Yeah.
Yeah, and then all the deaths yesterday, it was pointed out that the other man... Oh, so there were 3 deaths in hockey yesterday. The guy from the Miracle on Ice team, Chris Schultz, who also played for the Dallas Cowboys, and the Toronto Argonauts, which I found out were owned by Wayne Gretzky, and then, of course, Wayne Gretzky's father. And then the man who died that was on the Miracle on Ice team, he also played for the Rangers. Gretzky finished his career at the Rangers, and they also broke a 54-year drought of no Stanley Cups. So,
yeah,
Toronto.
Oh, John Tavares, the lacrosse player?
No, I don't follow lacrosse.
Oh, okay. But yeah, it's the same exact name. I think, according to Wikipedia, it's his uncle. Uncle equals 19.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I appreciate it, man. I'm going to let somebody else get in. Good research. You keep it up. Thank you.
All right.
See you, man. What's up, caller?
Hey, what's going on, Zach?
How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing all right. Hey, I need your help. I'm actually calling you for help, not wanting you to help decode it for me like some other people. when they call you. The UFC, I seen you talking about the main card with what's his name, Adonijay?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I know you said it's iffy, but when I looked at the date numerology, it's 50, and undefeated is 50, and he's undefeated right now. Does that play a role in maybe a decision?
What's interesting
that
about that is the word defeated is 50 and undefeated is 50, so that's a tricky one right there. So
and black and white is 50.
Yeah, I got to be honest, man. That fight spells danger to me because, again, the Black Lives Matter thing's there. Him picking up his 21st win in 21, holding up the pizza box, and pizza's 21 is there. But I don't like that the other fighter can get his 28th win and Israel's 28 in the most pure cipher. I don't like that. So.
Yeah. Okay, I get what you're saying. So I have one more question. I was decoding the fight for one of the undercard fights. Thiago Santos against Alexander Rakic. So this is my question. From Thiago Santos, from his birthday to the fight is 58 days, but the actual Saturday is the 59th day. So 59, I know you talked about it a lot. 59, they use that more to shame black fighters, or do they usually win with the 59, or normally
again, it's UFC 259
it?
and Black Lives Matter is 259, and then you're saying it's a black fight. He's a black fighter, and it's his 59th day of his age.
I mean, he's Brazilian, but you can look at him and tell he's black.
Well, there's a lot of black people in Brazil. I mean, I don't know what he looks like. I mean, so he looks like he has.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he looks like he's African American.
Well, again, it is used a lot to shame, but not always. I mean, Michael Jordan's name equal 59. He didn't get shamed anywhere. He was perfect in the finals. You know, Motown came out in 59. Okay. That wasn't any shame for black people. That's like some of the best music ever made. So, in light of, again, what I would really look for, though, is can he pick up a win or a loss against the opponent that lines up with the numbers? If you don't see anything there in the fight, I got to assume the black fighters are going to do overwhelmingly well in this fight, but maybe in the top event. Israel still has a narrative to win, but, man, again, like I said, I'd be worried about that other guy picking up his 28th win over Israel, so... But,
yeah, and that's why I was just wanting to get understanding, because like you said, look for something simple. And
hey, here, just to make another point. If you write Coming to America, you know Eddie Murphy's new movie?
Yeah.
That equals 259, right? And they just released that yesterday, and they released it while Eddie Murphy's 59 years old. So I wouldn't say that's exactly shame. It's like Eddie Murphy's probably making a bunch of money right now off his new movie. But they're doing that while he's 59 years old. So, and...
Well, the reason why I asked you that is because, like you said, look for something simple. On the simple surface, the fighter, Alexander Rakic, he's 13-2. He can pick up his 14th win on the 14th date numerology.
Yeah, that's important to know, too, is the date numerology. And you know what? 14's another one of these numbers that's actually stamped on black history, too. Did you say it's his 59th day of his age?
On the day of the fight is Santos' 59th day of his age.
Oh, I was going to say, words like slave have that gematria 59 and 14 as well. So those numbers actually kind of go together.
Right, and that's what I noticed too when you 59 and 14 do go in there, because when you type it in the gematria data underneath it, when you type in the number 59, all ciphers say 14, and they do go hand in hand. And like I said, the other fighter can't pick up his 14th win. The only funny thing that I see is the venue is called UFC Apex, and Thiago's his nickname, his fight name is Mariata, and it lines up exactly in all ciphers except for the last cipher, the reverse. It lines up exactly with UFC Apex, like his fight name.
Huh.
And that might not be nothing.
That is
it might
interesting.
not be nothing, but
I see that UFC Apex. That UFC Apex is interesting too, because it's got the 76 and 31 in it, like Slave also. So that's interesting. How often do they fight there?
Right. This is the first time I've even heard of this. This must be something new they built, because normally they fight at the T-Mobile Arena.
That's what I'm used to hearing is T-Mobile Arena, right? Okay.
Right. But when I looked it up, it says UFC. It's in Las Vegas. It says UFC Apex. And if you type in Marietta, Marreta, it's the 3 out of 4 sizes are exact. And that's Thiago's. That's his fight nickname.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he is on a 2-fight losing streak.
But he can get his 14th win on the 14-date numerology.
Yeah, the other fighter, the fighter he's fighting against, Alexander, he can get his 14th day. He can get his 14th win on the 14th day numerology. That's the one thing I see. And he's and Santos is on a 2-fight losing streak.
Okay. Yeah, again, the best fights are the ones where the guys can pick up the win or loss versus the opponent name. So, like, normally that white fighter who's going against Israel, normally that would be a good sign that he could get his 28th win versus Israel. Normally that'd be real good, but I don't even feel good about that in this one because of the whole UFC 259 and the other fighter being the black guy in this. So, again, just because of that conflict, personally, I'd stay away from that fight. But, again, I would just go through the fight card and look at who can pick up the wins and losses versus the name Gematria, the other opponent. And then if it lines up, like I said a minute ago, sometimes you'll see a fight where like a guy can get X amount of win, like his 22nd win versus an opponent's name who equals 22, and sometimes it'll be 22 days from his birthday or 22 weeks from his birthday. Those are always the best fights. And there's usually at least one like that on the card. So.
Okay. So, all right, so I'll just stay away from the Santos racket fight since it's kind of on both sides.
Yeah, yeah, that seems dangerous to me. So
now I will say this, and real quick, then I'll let you go. I was starting to look at the one of the fights is a championship fight. I believe it's in the bantamweight or the lightweight. The dude name is Peter Yan. I'm curious because his full name in Gematria, Peter Yan, comes out to 99. And I wonder, I'm thinking that this guy might win as a tribute to Gretzky, because I've seen that happen with like when Kobe died and they had that weekend where they had the undercard.
Here, you know what, man? That's probably a good thought. I'd explore. I'm going to switch to this caller right now because he does UFC all the time. He'll probably have some good tips for you, and he probably went through and decoded all the fights. So just pay attention to what the next caller is about to say. He goes to meet you weekend. Okay. All right, see you, man. What's up, Al?
Hey, man, that last caller, tell him to look at this Amanda. Is that Lemos? Is that her name?
Amanda
This
Nunes?
is a real easy one. No, that's the wrong name. She's fighting today. It's like maybe the 3rd or 4th fight. Amanda Lemos, Lemos is her last name.
Okay.
There's no value in this fight, but you can parlay it. Use it as a multipliers. She'll go 9-1-1 today, like 9-11, like 9-11, and her birthday is exactly 77 days from the fight, or exactly 11 weeks. I don't see how they don't do that. So they're doing some type of 9/11 ritual.
For people who don't know, 77 and 9/11 are peas in a pod. That's why Big Al's saying that. So, okay.
Yeah. So that's one right there. Like stuff like that, even I mean, there's no match with the name Gematria, but that's what they're doing with that. It looked pretty clear,
Sure. Yeah.
That's all I had. Just stuff like that. I didn't see a lot of the names lining up today with the fighters, and in that main fight, I'm not touching that. That's just goofy, man. It's too coded both ways. I would not mess with that fight.
Yeah, I don't like the 28 thing, but the 259 has me thinking that they're probably going to favor the black guys in UFC 259 with the whole Black Lives Matter thing. But yeah, I really don't like that guy can get the 28th win. So. Yeah.
Hey, great work on the futures. Those futures look really, really good.
Yeah, I hope Toronto does win the Stanley Cup because I'm going to feel real good about the World Series. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right, man.
All right. Appreciate it, Al.
Thanks, Zach. Talk to you soon. Goodbye. Bye-bye.
And there, you just heard it. He decodes him each week, so he's not crazy about tonight. What's up, caller?
Hey, Zach. It's Bo Knows Gematria. I'm back.
Yeah, how you doing?
So I got some stuff that I got some stuff I want to elaborate that I didn't touch on from yesterday's live stream. So
Okay.
let me just pull my notes up real quick. Okay, so one thing I forgot to mention with Walter Gretzky's death is that when you write Stanley Cup champions in Gematria, it sums to 99.
Okay.
Also, Walter Gretzky passed away from Parkinson's disease.
I talked
If you
about
write
that this morning.
Yeah, 72, and Toronto Maple Leafs equals 72. Then also, year, this up. Kobe's last, let me just stay on Walter. So also I was watching Walter Gretzky's funeral, and they said that he got a brain aneurysm apparently on February 13th, 2021, and then he passed away on March 5th, 2001, right?
Okay.
That's a span of 21 days. Jesuit equals 21. Also, when you write Canada's hockey dad, it sums to 56, like Society of Jesus.
Okay.
Also, today is Toronto's 187th birthday, and it's 3-6, and if you write Toronto out in Gematria, it sums to 3-6, and Society of Jesus equals 187.
Today is Toronto's date of establishment, March 6th.
Yeah, and exactly. And when you write Toronto out, it sums to 36 in Gematria.
Oh, in both forwards, I always called Toronto the 36th city. I didn't even realize its date of establishment's March 6th. I mean, come on. I mean, how can people deny Gematria? Toronto's 36 forwards and backwards, and its date of establishment's 3-6. Unbelievable.
Yeah, man. And then Kobe's last All-Star game was in Toronto, so they've always had that connection with Kobe with the 81 game and all these rituals. Also, Drake, when he dropped his like an EP. It came out on 35, Catholic equals 35, and then that album that you guys were looking up, Certified Lover Boy, it sums to 95. Also, Blue Jays sums to 95.
Oh,
so
that's true.
You guys are on the
So
that album is definitely going to be linked to the Blue Jays because he did one for the Raptors, and we all know how that went. And then I want to touch upon my Matt Sundin stuff. So yesterday when I called, I mentioned that Matt Sundin, he was drafted by the Quebec Nordiques, and then he found his way to Toronto and all that stuff. So yeah, after the Quebec Nordiques, they relocated to the Colorado Avalanche, and that's why they're wearing the Quebec Nordiques jerseys this year. And like I said, I think it's going to be Colorado Avalanche versus Toronto Maple Leafs in the Stanley Cup, not the Washington Capitals or any other team. Also, another thing I wanted to point out is Austin Matthews, the star player on the Toronto Maple Leafs. His name, when you write it out, it just his first name, Austin, it sums to 72 and 36, like Toronto and Toronto Maple Leafs. Huh.
Yeah, great observations.
Then another thing is, like I mentioned, that Matt Sundin he's the career leader in the all-time goals in Leafs history, right? So there's a possibility that they could literally sacrifice him because he would be like a great, conduit to bring those two teams together. As well, Patrick Waugh. You mentioned earlier that there was a player who played for the Canadiens that they knocked off.
Right.
Patrick Waugh played for the Canadiens as a goaltender, and then he also was a goaltender for the Colorado Avalanche.
I see. Huh.
Then another thing I want to touch on is the Toronto Blue Jays, right? They have their spring training facility in Tampa Bay, in Tampa, Florida, and that's where they do all their stuff. The Raptors are there this year playing and all that. Also, the Boston Celtics general manager, Danny Ainge, he was actually drafted in an amateur draft in 1977 by the Blue Jays, right?
Okay.
And he's also, take this in, he's the second youngest player in Blue Jays history to hit a home run at 20 years old.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And 77 days. Guess who surpassed him?
The son of Vladimir Guerrero.
Exactly. And then the thing is, Vladdy Guerrero Jr., he's a Canadian-born player. I thought he would be born in Cuba or whatever. So if the Jays end up going to the World Series, he'll be the first Canadian-born player to play for the Toronto Blue Jays. And then who knows how this is going to go. Like, maybe he might be the first Canadian-born player to hit a home run that wins them the World Series. And, who knows what comes with that. It's nuts.
Yeah.
Also, they've been doing a ritual shaming on him, saying that he lost 42 pounds in the off season and all that.
42 pounds, huh?
Yep, you know it.
Huh. Okay. Interesting.
Then I want to do some UFC decodes for you guys. So one of the most interesting ones that I found was maybe you could pull this up, the Amanda Nunes fight.
Well, she's a huge favorite. She's a monster favorite.
But also the person who she's going up against is huge. She's monstrous. But I found some things really interesting. If you take Amanda Nunes' full name, her middle name, it's Amanda Lucy. I can't pronounce her middle name, Nunes. It sums to 72. Today has a date numerology of 72. Her nickname, Amanda Nunes' nickname is Lioness.
Wait, how does today have 72 date numerology?
Hold on, let me see. Let me pull up my notes here. 3 times 6 times 2 times 2 times 1.
Okay. That's like a far out new age date numerology. Okay.
But anyway, back to the notes. Right. So yes, her full name sums to 72, like the date numerology. Then her nickname Lioness, it sums to 93, 40, 96, and 42. Today's Saturday. Saturn is the planet. That sums to 93 and 42. And see that does that mean she's gonna lose, or does that mean she's gonna win? I think she could win, but it could mean she could. I don't know about that one. I'm staying away from that fight, to be quite honest.
Well, it doesn't pay anything to bet on Amanda Nunes. You have to bet a fortune just to win something back. But if the other girl upset her, meanwhile, that'd be a big payout. But
paying a lot too. Yeah.
Again, you can see if there's something there for the upset. But the way they're talking about, I think Amanda Nunes is a name they're really trying to build up in the sport. So she's probably not going to be losing anytime soon.
Indeed. Well, then the first, I think it's the first match of the night in the prelims, Mario Bautista versus Trevin Jones. He's 8-1-0. Today's date numerology is 9. He could pick up his 9th win. His full name, Mario Bautista, sums to 50. We have a 50 date numerology. And his opponent, Jones, has a 72 date numerology. I mean, it sums to 72, and today has a 72 date numerology. So I'm going with Bautista.
We got to be careful. We got to be careful here. I mean, this is not how. I don't know where these things we're calling date numerology aren't really the date numerology. But
Bautista could pick up his 9th win, and it could be 91, like Society G.
Okay. Again, you guys, what you really want to look for is the gematria in the names and who can pick up the win and loss that corresponds with the opponent. That's where it's at. You don't want to get too fancy and start trying out all these new date numerology methods. I don't encourage
that. The 72 was for the Jones opponent, but originally his opponent was removed because of an injury. And based on how he performs and stuff, apparently he's never been knocked out, the black fighter. So I don't know. I don't see him winning the fight, and then the guy who he's going up against, Mario Bautista, he's looking to make a name for himself, and everything lines up for him. So I'm going, but he's like a huge favorite too.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the observations, man. Thank you.
All right, man. Take care.
Yeah, take care. Again, chapter 1 of my newest book, Number Games. I showed him both books, but in chapter 1, at the end of the chapter, I have the 4 ways to do date numerology that are definitely meaningful in terms of news and sports. What's up, caller? You gotta mute your video.
He's looking to make a name
You got to mute your video.
Hey, how's it going? Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. Okay, you can hear me?
I hear you, yeah.
Okay, so I got some more UFC, if that's okay.
Okay. Yeah, what's up?
So Israel Adesanya's full name, complete name, reduces to 227.
And today's 220 days. Yeah, his birthday's 227, and today's 227 days after his birthday.
Yep, and then in this embedded video, embedded is 33, episode 3 posted on March 3, Lee's Summit, Missouri reduces to 227 for reverse ordinal. And then Lee's Summit, Missouri also equals 259. Obviously, Black Lives Matter is 259. And then 3/6/2021 adds to 50. And I know defeated and undefeated are both 50, but new champion is also 50.
And I saw something about like he'd become the 8th UFC fighter to hold 2 belts at 2 weight classes.
I think it was the 5th, but it might be the 8th, because if it's 5, apparently there was another synchronicity with today being the 5th something about the universe, something number 5. So that could be something. Also, so it's the 64th day of the year, not including in Israel, equals 64.
Right, that's true.
So also with Megan, I think Megan Anderson's going to win, because there's something, they always do these air quotes. They said she's going to shock the world. That also equals 64. And that was in that embedded video with, again, 33, 333, 3. That was another thing.
All right, here, let's look at this girl Megan Anderson real quick, because I mean this would be a huge payout if she upset. So her name is Megan Anderson. Apparently, she's got a 2-part name. And okay, so I'm just seeing if there's anything there with that, and then she's fighting Amanda Nunes. Should spell her name right. So 11-4, 20-4. Amanda Nunes. Amanda Nunes is 64 as well, fighting on the 64th day of the year.
Jeez, they really this one, it seems like they really went both sides with all of these.
17. Today is 21. No. Today's 23 days after Megan Anderson's birthday, which is the 9th prime, but there's no 23.
So 211 is another. Peter Yan's birthday is also 211 for some. That's a little weird.
That's the 42nd day of the year.
And there was something else with 211 I forgot that I heard earlier.
Prime. Megan's also 23, and it's 23 days after her birthday. I wish there was a 9 that could be picked up.
So I also did M. Anderson. I don't know if you could show that.
Is that how they put it on the fight card? That's the first initial?
Yep.
Yeah. M. Anderson on the fight cards, 50 like the date numerology.
Yep.
Well, when I go through and do a fight, I'll always like measure from their last fight to today's fight. I'll measure from their last loss to this fight to see if there's some riddle with their last loss and the upcoming. I mean, when I decode a fight, I usually put some time into it. But
so someone else also had a picture of Megan Anderson wearing solid white and black, like Solomon's Temple, and like some like big, like this is some kind of boss for her to beat. As far as tarot as well, with the High Priestess. But that's pretty much what I got with that. And then also I wanted to comment on the Drake album. So I really was decoding that. That was on March 5th, and so it had 3 songs, 12 minutes, which is March 12th, 2021. That's 56 numerology. And it was called What's Next, which had 35 reduced and 46 reverse reduced. Which, is like Sacrifice, Vatican City, Verizon, Chicago, George Bush, whatever. So I don't know what that necessarily. I think I also saw this thing predicting Tyga was going to die on March 12th as well. So I don't know what would be, what that would be either.
Yeah, I don't know, because I'm not looking at those things, so I am not sure.
Yes, fair enough. But yeah, and then there was this other guy, Drew Dober versus Islam Makhachev. But Makhachev has his name 2 different times, 36, and but then it was going to be Drew Dober's 33rd fight, so I thought that was something. But I actually think Islam's going to win.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. There's a guy with the name Islam. So.
Yeah, and there's 2 people with this 5-star thing. So this Trevin Jones, someone else commented thinking he was going to lose, but Trevin Jones is apparently nicknamed 5-star, and so that's with the 5s. And then apparently Israel Adesanya can be the 5th with the double belt, which I think you said 8th, but I thought it was 5th. I don't know. There seems like there's so much with this one. There's like, this is a very powerful, like, probably ritual day for them.
Amanda Nunes has won 11 straight fights. The last time she lost was on the Jesuit Big Day, September 27th, 2014. It's been a long time since she lost.
Yeah, and this would be a huge upset.
330.
Oh, also,
weeks.
the
77
ESPN also put this big. Yeah, ESPN also put this exotic, Peter Yan's exotic training camp, and exotic lined up all 4 numbers with losing. So I don't know what that, like, you know, the exotic was in the air quotes or whatever. And they put that right on the front page of ESPN for a couple days, which was weird.
Okay.
And then Peter Yan is also 36, but you know, Black Lives Matter, and then Aljo, I think, might have been 64. Let me look up Aljo, because Aljo was the nickname they used. Oh, 38 and 70. So Aljamain. So I think Aljamain. I think you were right about I think the black fighters are going to do well tonight.
It would make sense for the whole Black Lives Matter thing, and it's right before the George Floyd murder trial, which starts Monday. So.
Yeah, and there's apparently Black Power, and there were a couple other words were 106. I saw that on the Discord as well, and 106 was something as well. I forgot.
Well, Black Lives Matter is 106. Black's 106. I Can't Breathe is 106.
Yeah, I Can't Breathe. That was the other one. Yeah, lots of 106. So I don't know if I don't know. There's so many codes in this one. It's insane.
There's ESPN has up on their front page a video of Israel Adesanya with a 1:31 clip. That's that championship number right there. And again, he can get his 2nd belt tonight. So it's just sometimes little clues like that tell you the story. Championship number 1.
Yeah, and it's weird because 201 and 210 are both. So it could go either way with that too. But I agree that 28 is weird, and it'd be Jan's 36th fight on 3-6, which is annoying.
Yeah.
But he had one that was no contest, so I don't know if that factors in. So it'd technically be his 37th fight.
Yeah. Again, the big concern with that fight is just that one guy can get the 28th win, because normally things like that are a really good sign. So.
So this was the exotic thing, and if you type in exotic and losing, it's literally all 4 are the same, so that's weird to me as well. And the last time there was a UFC with 3 title fights, they all lost. All the champions lost.
Okay. That's interesting.
And then I tried to do the date numerology. It was tried to do the date numerology. I also tried to do the date numerology of when McGregor won his 2nd belt, which was a few years ago. 5 years ago. Oh, 5 years ago. So I don't know.
That would be something to look at. That would be something to research, is the history of the people who've done it and the kind of spacing between that, to see if there's a ritual to that. Because usually there is a greater connection to past sports history. But I swear I was watching the thing today, and they said it'd be the 8th. That 7 people have won 2 belts at the weight class, whatever I was watching. I think it was on ABC today. But I mean, sometimes they do say false stats right in the news broadcast. So.
And isn't that what you just scrolled past with Adesanya, with him putting the 2 up? Isn't that a Freemason symbol as well?
The 2. Hold on, I didn't notice.
Yeah, it was like Adesanya sees 2 paths to success, and it's a video, and it's literally him just holding up a 2.
Oh, right here.
Which I'm pretty sure is a Freemason symbol. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'm sure he's talking about getting 2 belts.
Oh, that too. Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
I appreciate you taking my call.
They have a 73-second video here, which is interesting. 1:13, 73 seconds, which is the 21st prime. He could become 21-0 tonight and stay perfect. And you know what? That's also another thing to think about this year. So if he does win tonight, and again, you don't have to bet on it tonight, but something to watch out for is you could see a lot of perfect rituals with 73 and 21 this year, because perfect equals 73, and it's the 21st prime. So,
wow.
If it wasn't for that guy being able to pick up the 28th win, I would think this was Lock City. But still, that 28th potential win bothers me. So, and that guy has the better odds. I mean, he's the guy that's the payout if he wins. So,
yeah, I feel like Adesanya. I just don't see them crushing his streak for. I don't know what that would. I feel like they would lose a lot of money that way.
Yeah, he's obviously one of these names that they're growing out there. That's for sure. So.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I think all 3 titles lose tonight, but we'll see what happens with the numbers and everything. But I definitely think it'll be easier to decode once we do see what happens. Obviously.
Yeah. All right, man. Appreciate the observations.
All right. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome, dude. Take care. Yeah, and again, Big Al called in, you guys. Big Al makes big money off UFC, but you heard what he said when he called in. He's like, I see that one girl's fight. I don't really see a whole lot tonight. So, and some days it's that way, and he just stays away. So, but again, I would really have a focus on what goes on with the black fighters tonight. And if you're betting in real time, you can see what the black fighters are doing leading up to the main event. I mean, if the black fighters are perfect, that's probably a big clue going in. So... Come on, phone.
Hello?
I'm trying to get you on. It's not cooperating. There we go. What's up?
You good, Zach?
Yeah, we're good. What's up?
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about the UFC real quick. This is my first time decoding it, and I think I seen some...
You cut out when you said, I think I seen something. It cut out.
You can hear me now? My
Yeah.
fault. I said I think I see something with the Super Bowl connection.
Oh, okay.
Because, all right, so, Jan Blachowicz.
The main event?
Yeah, the main event. Hold on, 1 second. That's my bad.
He's from
Hello?
Yeah, you're wrong.
Yeah, my bad. My phone was echoing. All right, so with the UFC, the main event, the first thing that jumped out to me was the 201 thing, and then so I looked at the date numerology for today. I noticed the same exact for the Super Bowl, 50 and a double 14, and then I dug a little deeper, and then I went to go see like the like Jan Blachowicz or whatever his name is, and the other guy, he's 6'2", and that reminds me of Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 62, and then the other guy is 6'4". You know what I'm saying? He's 6'4", so that reminds me of the Chiefs. And I just kind of feel like the
Oh, and I see you're saying like the white guy
there.
versus the black guy too, just like in the Super Bowl. Okay.
Same date numerology. Jan Blachowicz or Blachowicz, just his last name equals 55.
His birthday is the
And,
55th day of the year. Did you say that?
Yeah. So. Yeah, no, I didn't see that. So I just noticed like that. I'm like, wow. I'm like, and there's value to him. Like, I never did this before, so I'm like, let me call Zach. And then UFC 59 equals 28 in full reduction. And you're right, UFC and then 259 out, like with just the numbers, equals 28 in full reduction. So that's another 28 that jumped out. So I just think there's some good value there, right?
Well, there's definitely value if he upsets. And again, he does have that 28 thing, and I hear what you're saying with the Super Bowl 55 connection. It's possible, but again, I don't like that he held up that pizza box because pizza's 21 and he can get his 21st win. I don't like that. And I also don't like that it's UFC 259 because that could be real favorable for the black fighter. So again, I mean, I'm real torn. But honestly, if I was going to bet on it, which I would not bet on this fight because I don't like it, but if I was, since I'm kind of mixed, I'd probably be more inclined to bet where the value is and probably parlay it with, something else in sports, like a small bet that could multiply into something. Like I see the Blues and the Kings are playing back-to-back nights, and since the Kings lost in overtime last night, they could fall to 9-9 in regulation today after the Gretzky 99 ritual, since both of those are his teams.
So you said that's the Blues for tonight?
I'd take them again, yeah, because last night they beat them in overtime, so that means that tonight the Kings could actually fall to 9-9 in regulation. So.
Yeah, I actually tuned in a little bit late too, and then when I went back to watch it, when the guy called in, he gave out two nice picks, and then he was right on with them. So good stuff from him. I think he said it was the Blues and the Wild. That was the easy pick, I think he said.
Well, he was responding to what I said, because I said, "Oh, look at that, the Kings can fall to 9-9." He goes, "Yeah, the Blues should win tonight," and then he said, "Then the Wild too." If you just went and look, all the hockey games on the surface went with the riddles you would have expected yesterday. Everything was yesterday would have just been an easy.
Just one more thing that I seen.
Go ahead.
Yeah. One thing I seen. So on 3-3, I think there was a Super Bowl clue. I think I seen it. I'm not 100% sure because I'm still kind of new at this. But so on 3-3, leaving 62 days left in the year, like Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I'm thinking, I know 3-3 and 33 equals NBA Finals. So I'm thinking it's going to be a clue. So I'm telling my brother, I'm like, I might be able to see a clue from there. So that I went to go look, and sure enough, the two teams that I think is going to be in it, Lakers and Nets, like we think, they're the only two teams that's playing their 37th game. So that connects to the Buccaneers too on the 62 day of the year. So the Brooklyn Nets got their 33rd win all time versus the Rockets on 3-3, leaving the day 303 days left in the year. So they fulfilled their ritual. And like you said, everything with they won with 132, 114 LeBron James. So I think the Nets is a lot for sure in the Lakers. But then the Lakers missed. Listen to this. I don't know how they missed this shit, but they could have got their 303rd win all time versus the Kings on the day leaving 303 days left on 3-3. NBA Finals 3-3, and they fucking missed it. They put LeBron on the bench, and they end up not.
Well, look, they got their 13th loss, and the Nets stayed on 13. And again, the real King James became a king at 13 months of age, like LeBron won on the.
The Rockets got their
again, and then LeBron won the finals with the Cavs on the real King James's birthday in his 13th season, and Harden got traded on the 13th, and the Rockets got their 13th straight loss. So that's probably what they're doing, is just the 13s between those two games. Yeah, I like I said since before the year began, it seems like it's lock city for the Nets and Lakers. So.
Yeah, fact. And then I just noticed that the Lakers, they lost on a 47 date numerology. So that's just like. I know it's for a fact. I'm pretty sure it's definitely going to be. I'm nervous. I'm trying to get it right, but I just don't know about the Lakers this year. I don't know why. At 7, it's just I can't. What they've been doing with 7 and 18 this year, bro. And I think the finals will end in Game 5 on 7-18. What they've been doing with 7-18 with Nick Saban getting the 18th and the 7th, with Tom Brady getting the 7th, and the Buccaneers winning after 18 years, and the Nets going after 18 years. And then the 18s is just huge this year. So I think it's going to end on 7-18. I believe that's probably Game 5 or 7. And I'm not sure which way it's going to go, though. But I think it's perfectly fitting. And then there's more stuff, too. I don't want to hold you too long because I'm not one of those callers. But I got so much shit I can say. But Lock City, like you say, bro, for Nets and Lakers, like Lock City. So
the Kings stayed on 21 losses in that game, too. Lakers is 21. So
yeah, but it's big to me how they didn't hit that 303. It's like, because I got a buddy that's like, he always wants to put his eggs in one basket on certain games, and I'm just like, yeah, it should hit. But then I'm thinking, like, how many times I've been losing when it's so perfect it don't line up, and sure enough it didn't hit. So I'm like,
yeah, he should have put all his eggs in the Nets back of that. Now the Rockets getting their 13th straight loss was Lock City. That was definitely happening. So
absolutely. And then James Harden. So James Harden or Harden traded to Brooklyn also equals 113. Like he got traded on 113, National Basketball League 113. So
the Lakers and the Lakers and the Nets ended up with the same records that night, 24-13.
Yeah, 24-13. Yep, that's another thing I was looking at too. I'm like, Kobe. You know what I mean? Like the only two teams playing their 37th game. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like I believe that was definitely a big ritual and a clue.
Yeah.
On 3-3. Yeah, absolutely. So I just wanted to call and say thank you again. Hopefully everything goes as planned. And then One more thing I wanted to say is, Zach, man, these fucking daily games is tricky, bro. I'm about to just wait for the really strong rituals because it's like it looks good, but then it's like, hey, it makes you question yourself a lot. And in the playoffs, we do much better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think there's some flex in the regular season games. But, I mean, still, you stick with the knowledge. It's just like yesterday. I mean, look at yesterday's hockey games. Yesterday, if you watch the live stream, you know, we talked about how Capitals equaled 135. They became 13-5 right before that. Then yesterday, the Bruins became 13-5 against the Capitals, like Capitals 135. And then the Avalanche got to 13-7 over Anaheim. Anaheim's 33, 137 the 33rd prime. Wild got to 13-7, 137 the 33rd prime over the Coyotes. Coyotes 33. Blues won and beat the Kings. But because the Kings lost in overtime, now today they can fall to 9-9 in regulation. So, I mean, all those things is exactly what the Gematria would have said. And, I mean, all those games come through. And hold on, I'm thinking about the Blackhawks, too. Do they have some? I forget what their connection is. I forget their numbers. Chicago. I can't remember if they have the connection or not. Yeah, Chicago Blackhawks is 137. They got to 13-7 yesterday, too. So, I mean, just everything was perfect yesterday with the Gematria for NHL.
Yeah, definitely. Just some games, it's like they set you up for that little one game to fuck your parlay up, so...
Yeah, and that's why again, because like the thing you're saying about the Lakers getting that 303rd win on the day, leaving 303 days left in the year, things like that can be hit and miss. It's usually where the Gematria lines up is where the most consistent things are. So
yeah, I gotta take that note for sure. But yeah, I'm just gonna lock up the final and then try to listen out into for the MLB and for the college and try to just bet on that, and because I feel like it's just more Lock City, the futures. From I've been following you for a little bit, like
yeah, the knowledge has always been best for the futures. I mean, it's where the most money is to be made, and it's where we've done the most damage. So
it's when they can't fucking change the rig. I feel like they can change it if they like. You never know, because I feel like I started following you like right before Corona. So like right before Corona hit, I was smashing them in NBA. Like everything was hitting easy. And then as soon as like the Corona came and they took that break and they came back, it's just like...
Well, remember we killed last year. We killed those bubble games at the end once we figured out they were doing all those riddles with the bubble. I mean, we murdered
with
that.
The bubble shit, but at first it was getting a little tricky. You know what I mean? It's like they changed some shit, you know? So,
yeah.
One thing they can't change is history, though, so that's what we're going to smack them at, man. Like, I just want to say thanks again, because I smacked them with Brady. Like, I kind of wanted to put more, but... Like, that one right there for me, Zach, was like, I wouldn't say I'm on the fence. I know it's rigged and 100%, but that right there, I'm like, yo, if this doesn't come through, bro, like, now I'm fully sold. Like, I'll never go against you because I went against you one game in the playoffs like an idiot. But I'll never go against you if
was it the Bills game? Was it the Bills-Chiefs game?
Yo, so, Zach, the Bills had so much numbers, bro, with the 27. They had every number.
No, man, I told you. What did I tell you guys? I told you. Bills in the Super Bowl was a big whoopee cushion sound. I said that was not going to happen. There's no way they're putting Baby Stash in there. I can't believe you guys thought this. It was like, come on, weren't you guys watching the game? You're watching Patrick Mahomes shampoo his hair and all this. They're not putting Baby Stash in there. Come on, man.
No, facts. Yeah, you're 100% right, and it made perfect sense when it's all said and done. When they got to the final Super Bowl, then I'm like, wow. Brady went there so they can match it up and make him play Patrick Mahomes. Like, that's what it was all for. They need the GOATs to play each other. You know what I mean? So it made perfect sense after I just was stuck on the numbers. You know what I'm saying? With the Bills. And they had a lot, though, bro. Like, they had a lot with the 27 years. The Super Bowl was on 2-7. And, like, they had a lot, but it doesn't overpower Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. So, like I said, bro, I appreciate you. I'll never go against you again.
Well, you guys can go against me. I mean, I'm wrong about things, but yeah, just pick the best.
I'd rather go down with the ship.
Again, my advice is just always pick the best games. Be selective. If it's iffy, just stay away from it. You don't have to bet on every game. I mean, if you're like, I mean, just so.
It's tough though. It's tough to not to. It's like every game is always something. Every day when it's good, you do something jumps up. So it's tough not to bet. You know what I mean? And it's just like not even the money so much. It's like just wanting to be right and figure them out. You know what I mean? Like that's what it is a lot too for me.
Sure.
Like, just want to fucking be right.
Well, again, when you get a riddle like the Rockets can lose their 13th straight game against Harden after they just trade him on the 13th. If there's ever a game to bet the house on, it's a game like that. So.
All right. Well, good to know, man. I appreciate you. I'll keep listening.
All right. See you, man.
All right, brother. Thank you.
I feel like that caller who just called in, I feel like he goes against me a lot, not just that one game, but anyway. So, yeah, I see nobody really cares about the baseball future. Everyone cares about the UFC. And you guys, when I decode fights, I put time into it. And again, here's everything I do when I decode a fight. I get all the gematria out there. I make sure somebody can pick up the win or loss. I map out from the birthday how many days it is. I go back and look at when their last fight was. I look at when their last loss was. And I look at all those things. And sometimes there's a real clear riddle in there. And then that's how I pick. But I do all those things before I make a pick. And what I'm saying is I don't feel like doing it right now because, again, I'm doing too many things right now. What's up, caller?
Hey, I'm just hearing like all the talk about like Avalanche and Maple Leafs.
Well, we got some people say it seems like everybody's really on the Maple Leafs thing, but some people are saying Capitals. I know there's the one caller who's real adamant that it's going to be Colorado because of the Canadian history. But what are you thinking?
Well, in 1998, there was a big ice storm in like Ontario, and I'm just calling because I think there might be another big storm coming in 2024.
26 years later, okay.
Yeah, and something to do with like the eclipses. I think those great American eclipses. Not positive, but just something I'm seeing.
Okay.
There was a eclipse in 1998 as well. It started in 1991, and they're all separated by 405 moons, and then Tiger's 45 this year.
Okay.
And the next one's on April 8th in 2024.
Okay.
I just wanted to put that out there.
All right. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
No problem.
All right. Well, it looks like we're talking about anything but baseball at this point. But, yeah, I think we got the majority information out there for baseball. And there's not going to be a live stream next weekend because next week I'm going to be in Seattle. But hold on. When does the tournament start? March Madness start date. One more call. Caller?
Hey, Zach, how are you?
Doing all right. What's up?
I just got a quick observation about the Masters. 1 second here. Okay, so if you look at the relationship between Dustin Johnson and Gretzky, Dustin Johnson's dating a Gretzky, right? So Wayne Gretzky would be Dustin Johnson's father-in-law, but Walter Gretzky would be his great father-in-law. And when you type in the gematria of great father-in-law, it equals 264. Like Walter Gretzky's sacrifice equals 264. And if you look at the date of the tournament, it's April 8th to 11th. So if you write April 8th, like the actual letters, -11, that also equals 264. And if you also look at Walter Gretzky's sacrifice one more time, it's 111. And from March 4th, the day Walter Gretzky died, until June 22nd, Dustin Johnson's birthday, it's 111 days. And also I wanted to say from March 4th, the day Walter Gretzky died, until April 11th, the final date of the tournament, it's 38 days, like kill 38. And sorry, it's just a quick call. And then one other thing. I saw your video last night. Arturo Sosa is 72 years old, and it's a par 72 course. And from April 11th, the final date of the tournament, till Dustin Johnson's birthday, it's 72 days. So I just thought those were interesting as well.
Okay, yeah, big number at golf. 72 holes, most courses. Yeah. Good observations.
Yeah, so 72 days. Yeah, all right.
All right, appreciate it. Canada's calling in big today. What's up? Another Canadian caller. Oh, but he hung up. So I see that Selection Sunday is next week, and then the tournament starts the 18th. So I think Monday, maybe Tuesday. Yeah, probably Tuesday, so I have more time to do it. Tuesday we'll do a live stream on the bracket. What's up, caller?
Hey, Zach. Finally, man.
Yeah.
Let me apologize for hanging up the last time, man.
That's
I was
okay.
just so used to you just clicking me off, right? So It's all good. Hey, listen, quick thing. Super Bowl 56. Do you still have the Cowboys and Indian kind of concept in your mind?
I do.
Yeah? Okay. I was working on something this morning, and Washington Redskins. Do you have any feel with that?
Probably not going to happen. Probably not going to be them.
Ron Rivera?
Well, just here, what are your thoughts? It sounds like you got a thought about the old Washington football team or Redskins. What's your thought on them?
Right. So Ron Rivera matches up directly with Super Bowl LVI if you like put it through.
Okay.
His birthday numerology matches up to the Super Bowl.
Actually, here, you know what? I'm going to entertain this for that. That would be funny if it was like Kansas City and then Washington D.C. does equal a 56. So okay, let's hear it. They're going to get a new quarterback next year, so it'll be interesting to see who it is. Go ahead.
That's right. Other thing was Ron Rivera played for the Chicago Bears,
right, and
played in the Super Bowl. And if you look at the score of the Super Bowl, it equals up to 56.
Oh, it was 46-10. Yes, it was.
Okay. All right. So that's what was my thinking today was with the Washington Redskins or the football team. They could be that side of it instead of the Chiefs.
The Chiefs are going to be there, but it could be Chiefs playing the other conference. It's possible the Chiefs could play them. So that'd be interesting.
One more thing, the Colts. Frank Wright.
You understand what I'm saying, right? You understand the point I'm making. The Chiefs play in the AFC, the Washington plays in the NFC. So they could meet each other.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
They could.
Right.
Cowboys, any chance, you think?
Cowboys definitely have a chance. WrestleMania's in Dallas, and it's 56 days after Super Bowl 56. Especially if Russell Wilson goes there.
Mike McCarthy's first Super Bowl, if you look at the date, it's February 6th. 2011, I think it is. So it's, or 2010. I can't remember. But it's a span of 11 years.
Okay.
So that Super Bowl, when he won, is the exact same date as Super Bowl 56. Exact same. Prime number of 11 is 5, correct? Prime of
yeah,
11?
the 11's the 5th prime number, right?
Okay. So, I was thinking, like, take away the Redskins. I was thinking the Super Bowl is going to be Colts, okay, versus the Cowboys.
Carson Wentz in the Colts. Yeah, I'll take the Chiefs over the Colts.
I'm just thinking about Frank Wright. He was drafted 57 overall, which matches the date numerology. He also played in the Super Bowl when the last time he played in California.
Okay.
So there's a strong connection that Frank Wright with the Super Bowl. Also,
I got a question. Did you watch the Super Bowl this year? Did you watch Super Bowl 55?
I did, yeah.
Do you remember at the end of the game when the announcer said, we're probably going to see Patrick Mahomes in at least 8 more Super Bowls? Remember when he said that?
Yep.
And he's been in 2. 2 plus 8's 10. 55, the 10th triangular number. If you're going to be in at least 8 more Super Bowls, which is probably a true stat, you're going to have to be in a lot of years of Super Bowls. And again, like I said, he can go to 3 straight. 3 equals 56. Right now, the Chargers only have 56 wins against a single team in the league, and that happens to be the Chiefs, the first team to play the Chargers in that new stadium. And yeah, I'm not going to go against the Chiefs next year in the AFC. So.
You know what? That's great. You know what? Let's see what happens. I put a futures bet on it. I did. You know, I'll put it on the Patreon. I'll pace up. Put $1,000 on Colts, and Jesus Christ, I just lost my train of thought there, man.
Well, it's got a chance. I'll cheer for you for that reason. So.
All right,
man.
Super Bowl champions is gonna be the Colts, bro.
Okay.
Let's talk again.
Okay.
By the way, it's David from Toronto, man.
All right, you called it. All right, good luck, man.
All right, bro.
All right,
yeah, bye-bye.
Okay. Good news is hanging around here, I'll win his $1,000 back, but I'm pretty sure the Chiefs are going to be right there again. So, yeah. So anyway, I see the bracket comes out next Sunday. I'll probably still be in Seattle on Sunday, and so we'll say Tuesday following that we'll do a live stream over the bracket. What's up, caller?
What's up, Zach?
Hey.
So going back to baseball, I'm looking at Aaron Judge, and his birthday is April 26th. And I know 2021 isn't a leap year, but in the leap year, that is the 117th day of the year, just like the 117th World Series.
Oh, Aaron
and he's
Judge,
28 years old right now.
Okay.
And he's 28 years old right now. And the Yankees could, not saying they're going to win it, but I mean, they have the possibility to pick up that 28th ring. And when you write out Aaron Judge, it equals 57. And when you write out 28, it also equals 57. So I don't know if you had any thoughts on that, or if you wanted to look more into Judge's.
Well, that riddle with him would really be better if it was a leap year, which 2021 is not. But yeah, the Yankees, because they do play in that Field of Dreams game, we'll have to see what happens in that game. So they got a shot, but right now I like Toronto more, and Toronto's got the better odds too. So Yankees are favorite to win their division if Toronto won. And Toronto doesn't necessarily have to win the division. I mean, Yankees could win the division. Toronto could still beat them in the playoffs. So, yeah.
And something else with Judge. I mean, his initials are AJJ, and that's kind of like A, the first letter, and then J and J can also be like 1 and 1.
Yeah,
so,
like 111, like New York.
111.
Yeah. That's true.
And something else, his full name equals 261, and that's kind of like the day Kobe died. And they say on Wikipedia that his hometown is in Sacramento. And I know that LeBron James' first game was against the Kings, and how LeBron ties into Kobe. So I don't know, maybe...
Wait, did you just say his full name equals 261?
Yes.
Okay, what stands out to me about that is... Ruth Bader Ginsburg just died on September 18th, which is typically the 261st day of the year. And I forget who the Supreme Court Justice was that died before her. He was no longer Supreme Court Justice, but when he died, it was synced up with Aaron Judge as well. So I gotta go back and look into this. That's weird.
And of course, that's amazing. Huh. And he's also 144, like Jesuit order.
Right.
54.
Yeah, that's weird.
All Manchurians.
That's weird. Yeah, and he looks like something went wrong in the test tube with his face, but
he had a big gap in his teeth, and he just got that fixed this season. So
it's not the gap in the teeth; it's like his head. It's like his head has like biceps growing out of it. There's something wrong with his face, man. So
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just amazing though that like the guy with the last name Judge is playing for New York, and Judge equals 47, and 47 is just. Oh my God! I don't know if he's denied this shit, man.
Yeah, he just had a big 47 on the home run derby. Let me see. I think he won it with 47 home runs. Aaron Judge home run derby 47. I think that's what it was. Yeah, Judge crushes 47 homers en route to home run derby win. Judge 47.
It's so stupid, man. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, considering that it's not the leap year, it's not as interesting, but because you were bringing up everything with the 117, and no one was really talking about baseball, so I'm like, let me just look at Judge. And, of course, I mean, that 117.
Yeah.
And he's 28.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know if I said, but his hometown is Sacramento, and that's, like, LeBron. That's who he played his first game against. He played against the Kings, and obviously the Lakers are hot right now, and that's all tied with Kobe Bryant. So, I actually don't know what Sacramento equals.
Sacramento's 37 in the most pure cipher. I know that.
What? You know, it's pretty cool. I just realized this. Sacramento is 109 and Yankees is 109.
Yeah, that is true. Oh, that's actually something to think about, because I'm glad you brought up the Yankees as 109. I almost forgot that, because again, from Tom Hanks' birthday to the World Series is 109 days. And that'd be a World Series to consider, is if it's not Toronto, I think White Sox or Yankees are the teams it would have to be. But yeah, that is interesting, because Los Angeles is 109 and Yankees is 109, and the World Series starts 109 days after Tom Hanks' birthday, who's in Field of Dreams, and the Yankees play in the Field of Dream game. So I'm going to add that to the notes.
Wow.
That's a good observation.
And Whitey Ford, didn't he die October 9th? But now I'm seeing on Wikipedia they're saying it's October 8th now, so I think they're fudging with that. Because I remember you putting that stuff out. But that 10-9 again.
Well, it makes sense that he died on 10-8 because Major League's 108, 108 double stitches on the baseball. So,
true.
Yeah.
True.
Everlast better
And
rap.
then,
Watch out, the White Rapper. His alias is Whitey Ford. How old's he right now?
And then the season ends November 3rd, like that 113, and sports entertainment equals 113. Crazy.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking they could do a big Kobe thing there with that Toronto.
Yep, and then you got and Aaron Judge is kind of synced up with Kobe in his gematria aspect. So I don't know. Yankees Dodgers would be the ratings poll, so that's what they're really all about at the end of the day, the money and just control. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. All right, man. I appreciate the observations.
And
you got more?
This isn't for the Yankees, it's for basketball, but something I noticed with the Knicks, if you look at the Knicks right now, they're having like one of their best seasons in a really long time. And what's really amazing is that the Knicks were founded in 1946, and that's exactly 74 years before 2021, and New York Knicks equals 74. And when you look at the last Knicks championship, that was in 73, and from 73 to 2021 is 47 years. And so you got all those 47 and 74s with synced up with how they're doing this season. And then their big guy this year is Julius Randle, and his name equals 47 and 178, and that's kind of like New York Knicks. I mean, I'm sorry, R-A-N-D-L-E. Yeah, 178 and 47. New York Knicks equals 74 and 178, and he's also got the 79. And
their player died this year that was on the 73 championship team. Harthar Wingo died at 73, and he died 133 days after his birthday. And back then it was called the NBA World Championship Series, which is 133. So, yeah. And then the next day the Knicks won with 119 points, and his full name's 119. So,
amazing. Yeah, the Knicks games, they always win by like 19 or 11, and they put up 119 points so much. They'll end a quarter on 74. I don't know how people don't see this, dude. Like, my friend, he's like, I think it's just how the universe works. And I'm telling him, and I say to him, like, you really think the universe would just be nefarious all the time? It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Some
people just don't want to
think. And then their other big guy, Emmanuel Quickley, he's like their big rookie. And his full name equals 74. His first name equals 74. And his full name is 191. It's like, a big Jesuit number. So, I don't know. It's crazy stuff.
Indeed. So, appreciate the observations, man.
That's all I have.
All right. Yeah.
No problem. I hope that helped you out.
Yeah. You have a good one. Take care. All right. I think we'll leave it there for... here we got another call. Last call. What's up, caller?
Indeed.
Caller, you got to mute the video. You're on. 774.
Hey. Hello?
Hello?
Hi. I was just calling to tell you about the movie you keep talking about.
Field
Tom
of Dreams?
Hanks.
Field of Dreams?
He wasn't in Field of Dreams. That was Kevin Costner.
Tom Hanks isn't in Field of Dreams?
No.
Oh, I'm thinking of A League of Their Own. Is that what I'm thinking of? A League of Their Own?
Probably.
Okay. I'm glad you told me that. Shoot.
That's alright.
Hold on.
I love you. That's all else. I want to hang up now.
Well, I appreciate the observation. Thank you.
Alright, bye.
Okay, you see how Kevin Costner's birthday, though, is January 18th? That's that 118. That's that big Los Angeles number. Remember I was starting with? If the World Series went to Game 7, all the 118 things that would happen? All right, I need to go back and fix that, though. The whole time I was thinking Tom Hanks was in Field of Dreams. Yay. Come on, you. Caller?
Yes. I weren't taking more calls.
Yeah, I wasn't, but...
Yeah, all right. I'll try and be quick then. I just want to throw in, I think the Knights, everyone likes Toronto, but I think the Knights might be looking pretty good here too. Let me see what I got here. So it's their fourth season Season 4, so it's a 56. It's a 56-game season. It's also 133, 43, 137, season 4. You spell it out. Las Vegas, Nevada is 133 and 43. Cup and VGK, they're known as VGK, match in all 4 ciphers. That being 40, 13, 41, and 14. For Cup and VGK 4. They signed Alexander Pietrangelo in the off-season, and the riddles might be running through him. He was like the off-season, like, free agent gem. He was definitely signed by the numbers. It looks like he was just meant to be on this team. Alexander Pietrangelo, 206, Golden Knights, 206, $62 million contract. Golden Knights, 62, $8.8 million a year. Knights, 88. Let's see. Now everything's based off of the finals ending on the 15th of July. Now, it seems conflicting. Is it definitely on the 15th?
Well, that's from the NHL website where it says that the last possible day of the Stanley Cup is July 15th.
Yeah, there's an asterisk by that, too. I saw that, and it said subject to change. And I think it was on the NBC, it said July 9th, which also said subject to change.
Okay. Yeah, I just took it from the NHL
website. So if it is on the 15th, then I'm pretty sure it's going to end in Las Vegas on the 15th of July. So from Pietrangelo's birthday would be 179 days to the 15th. 179 to 41st prime. 41 is, VGK and Cup. 41 to 13th prime. It's his 13th season. 13, 7th Fibonacci number. He signed a 7-year contract. He wears number 7. This season of this year of 7 teams, where Brady got the 7th, Saban got a 7th. 7 is the 4th prime number. He signed his 4th. He was the 4th pick in the draft. Knights is the 4th season. Let's see here. So I got a whole bunch of stuff here. His name actually, Pietrangelo, matches with Pope Francis in all 4 ciphers. So does Peter DeBoer. Well, I'm sorry, Peter DeBoer matches in 2 of the 4 ciphers with Pietrangelo, Pope Francis. Las Vegas NV matches in 2 of the 4 ciphers also. So the city, the coach, Pietrangelo, and Pope all match. From Arturo Sosa's birthday would be to the final game is 245 days, I believe. Yeah, 245. Las Vegas, Nevada equals 245. And 83. It'd be 8 months, 3 days from Arturo Sosa's birthday. T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas, Nevada, sums to 157, like the 15th day of July. Let's see what else I got. I think that there's more into it. Oh, the season started on the 13th. Peter DeBoer's name sums to 113. And it'll be 184 days after his birthday. Peter DeBoer sums to 184. So his birthday and name match up from the start date to the end date. And from the Vegas Knights' very first game to the 15th will be 1013. And DeBoer equals 113, Peter DeBoer 113. So I think there's a lot lining up between Pietrangelo, DeBoer, and the game 7, which will be on the 15th.
Okay. So you like Vegas instead of Toronto?
Well, it could be Toronto-Vegas in game 7.
They play in opposite conferences, those 2 teams?
Yeah.
Okay.
Vegas in the west and Toronto's in the north.
Okay, I see. Okay. I don't know. The hockey's the sport I know the least about. So, okay. So you're saying so some people like the Capitals versus Toronto. Some people like Denver Avalanche, Colorado Avalanche versus Toronto. You're saying Vegas versus Toronto. Okay. I see.
Yeah. I remember, Gronkowski and Brady were, they're pitching for T-Mobile. The Knights playing T-Mobile Arena. From Pietrangelo's birthday to Brady's birthday, is 169. The Stanley Cup equals 169. So he's got a correlation between Brady and his birthday, their birthdays also.
Okay. I see.
Yeah, I think his is 169 days after Brady's birthday.
Okay.
So yeah, I think there's some riddles and connections there.
All right. Yeah, I appreciate those observations. Yeah, good thoughts.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, man.
I think that's it for now.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, have a good one.
All right.
All right, see
You too. Thank you.
Okay. So the least interesting topic was the main topic today. Not many people interested in providing their insights for baseball. And I guess it's just signs of the times because nobody really watches baseball anymore. But, yeah, so we'll leave it there for now. Back to the book grind. And, again, no live stream next weekend because I will be in Seattle. The bracket comes out on Pi Day, March 14th, Steph Curry's birthday. Maybe something to think about with that since... How's Davidson doing this year? Isn't that his school? Davidson down in the Carolinas. But that's the 73rd day of the year, the 21st prime. Jesuit 21, perfect 73. I'm thinking Gonzaga's going for that perfect season. Let me make sure they haven't lost any games since I checked in last. Gonzaga college basketball record. Again, it really does feel like they just paved the way for Gonzaga this year. The big programs aren't doing well. Here, easier way to do it. West Coast Conference basketball standings. All right, yeah, they're 24-0. And if they win the tournament, they should be perfect. So, again, the word perfect, 73, the 21st prime. Might want to look into the last time a college basketball team had a perfect season. Or has it ever happened? Has it ever happened? So, and we can do some math on what their streak would be if they did win the championship. But if you guys missed the discussion on why we like Gonzaga over Michigan in the college championship, go back and watch that video. It has everything to do with Mark Few, the coach of Gonzaga, and Juwan Howard, the coach of Michigan, who celebrated his birthday on the day of the Super Bowl. And, of course, Brady went to Michigan. So I'm still feeling good about that one, too. Again, just like how they kept Michigan on 13-1 forever. You know, to me, that's a sign they're going there, that big championship number. And then, of course, they finally played on Valentine's Day, and they got to 14-1 like we thought they would. So, again, if you guys missed out on the live streams for the NFL, college basketball, all that, go back and watch. Again, it's about putting the pieces of the puzzle together, and a lot of times the rituals run through all the sports. So, if you can catch the thread, you can follow it all the way through. And, yeah, be sure to use your own mind. Also, go back, scan through the recent posts. All the Gematria cheat sheets are there for every major sport. NHL, NBA, MLB, NFL, they're all there. And just go through. And again, it's just like yesterday in the NHL. Had you used your Gematria cheat sheet, you would have been perfect yesterday with games. Because, again, a lot of times it's the most surface level stuff. One more time. We talked about in yesterday's stream how the Capitals were 13-5. And Capitals equals 135. And then that night, the Bruins beat them to improve to 13-5 versus the Capitals. Capitals 135, becoming 13-5 is like 135. Chicago Blackhawks 137. They improved to 13-7. Anaheim equals 33. Avalanche improved to 13-7, like 137, the 33rd prime. Wild improved to 13-7 over the Coyotes. Coyotes 33, 137, the 33rd prime. Thought the Kings might lose last night to fall to 9-9 because of the whole Gretzky father death ritual when Gretzky wore 99 and played until 99. Well, the Kings did lose last night, but they lost in overtime, so they didn't fall to 9-9 in regulation. But now the Blues play the Kings again tonight. These are both Gretzky former teams. If the Blues do win tonight, the Kings will fall to 9. Well, if the Kings lose in regulation, they will fall to 9-9. Still seems pretty likely that that's going to happen. And I'm not sure if there was a riddle here with the Golden Knights and the Sharks, but let me see. Again, these things are linked. Golden Knights, let's just see if there's a 154. Golden Knights is 145. Let's see, Sharks, 145. So in this game, you might have thought that the Sharks actually might have had a chance at the upset. But again, the Golden Knights are one of the better teams, and the Sharks are not playing well. So, and again, that's where you got to use your intuition. And if you're going to bet on a game like a Sharks upset, you know, that's kind of where you want to just do like maybe a $5 parlay. You don't want to bet on it because they have a chance. But again, if it seems too far-fetched, again, that's where the intuition comes in. The potential upset's there, but you don't want to risk a lot on it. It's just like when we were in the playoffs. We saw that the Bears had a narrative to upset the Saints in the playoffs. Like I said, it's probably not going to happen because then it'll screw up the alignment. We expect the Rams to play the Packers. None of this will work out if the Bears upset. But I said if you want to take a small chance on the Bears, you know, $5 parlay with these 4 other games, that would pay you like $200. You could risk $5 on it. So again, that's how you got to play these games. Usually if the Gematria is there, that's the way the riddle falls. If the Gematria is there for a big upset, possible, but you don't want to go betting the whole house on that and trying to become an overnight millionaire. Because see, out of all the Gematria riddles, this is the one that wouldn't have come through because we just saw that Golden Knights has the 145, but instead they became 15-4. And at the same time, you know, we'd say, well, can't be surprised with that one because Golden Knights are the dominant team right now. The Sharks are not. But notice that game was close. You know, people probably expected the Golden Knights to win by a few goals. Instead, it went to overtime. So, and again, they'll make you you know, sometimes these games, these scripted narratives, they'll make you shake in your boots. Kings were up with like a minute left, and they ended up losing the game last night. So, and I still remember the game. It was like a few seasons ago now, but I was just so adamant the Sharks were going to win the game. Do you guys remember this game I'm talking about? The Sharks, I was so adamant they were going to win, and they were down like 4-0 with like 4 minutes left, and they came back and won. Oh, man. There's a guy in New Jersey who bets like $10,000 a game. He was so ecstatic when they came back because I think he did bet his whole house that night. But it was like, God, I couldn't believe it. I was like, how are they down like this? The riddle was so good, and they had like the most miraculous comeback ever with no time left. There was like 2 crazy penalties, so they had this huge advantage. I think it was like I forget, in hockey, can you have a situation where there's only 3 guys on the ice versus 5? If you can, I think that even happened at the end of the game. And anyway, some of these finishes are just crazy. So, but yeah, use your Gematria cheat sheets and just go through. Check the boxes. If it seems too far-fetched, be careful. All right, Truth Seeker, we'll leave it there. And have a great rest of your day. Thank you all. You're welcome, Angel. Appreciate your manners. Nice to see a thank you out there. And yeah, we'll leave it there, you guys. Good luck. Till next time.